Hello, this is Friedrich again. This is a detective work, and it is not necessary. This is a criminal investigation. It could well be. But it is detective work into things that were disguised. And that is something not in itself a thing to look into. And now I correct myself, this was mysterious as well. Later I learned there was not the need to do it that long if the law had been applied by everyone voluntarily. That was then coming out as the opinion of people. I had there I wrote it down. Somewhere is I took the union, the workers' union, on board. Where is it? No, it isn't. The workers' union. Hole mir als Ratgeber die Gewerkschaft BIG ins Boot. I took as a counselor the union BIG on board of the problem. And this is now something where I ask, I now make it larger again, the window. Is it a fact? Is it fiction? No, this was real. We now have, I forgot to put in the watermark. This is questioning by Friedrich of family researcher. You see it there on top. And this is important, that this is a real thing. There you see, family researcher. And this is something that is blurred out because I have a blue background behind my head. Therefore, when I show you something, this is blue, and I put it there, you can't see it. It's in my hand. It's still in my hand. A little bit you might see it, and there, blue is, you see it in another color. Blue is taken out. Why could this be important? I have also to look into the possibility that the reaction of the surrounding could be manipulated. It is of course possible, but the motives behind it were never taken seriously. When someone said they are after you, this was considered a conspiracy theory. Who can be after me? No one. But if then there was something strange, like this long, totally unnecessary battle, till I was too sick to do anything on my own, I had to, and this was the next thing. Didn't people know it before? That it is possible to come out of such misery? And the most strange thing, this had been declared, this is the time axis, and this is now you can't see it, 1995. This is 2009. And the reason is, I will try it now again with a higher resolution. You should now see it, and I'll go a little bit more into it. This is not possible all the time. You see, it is not much better. Therefore I go back to the other resolution. I thank very much. This is another background information, and you are not interested. I understand. This had been the false, my opinion is it was a false surrounding. If someone is in trouble, at least you look into it and you ask, and how could this be prevented? The reason could be false rumors. And now I understand, false rumors or false bad-mouthing. There could be bad-mouthing about you when you have a behavior that is not inside of the expectation of someone. This is of course illegal as well. But to tell things I do not even know, this is possible in a religious surrounding. And this is the reason, and this is not my want, it had been that I was never a member of any circle, and not religious at all. My belief is my private thing, and I expect by others who claim to be believers to be reliable, to be very much reliable, according to that was formerly known, the good old German faithfulness. But I'm German-rooted only. Those are the roots. And the roots go through, some people said, this. No, it goes to unknown territory. Some claimed in between even to Japan. I never thought this was more than something of interest, not a fairy tale. People believed so. And this is very strange. I want to make short videos, therefore this is quite long. And this is my mother. She said, please make a photograph. And she looked deliberately what is going on. You were expect to do some things. Who are those? And I don't like the idea. Those maybe got false information as well. This is of today, the 19th. Please consider helping me. You would help yourself, but only on the long run. It is not about you. It is about truth and faithfulness. There had been the saying of the BRESLAU-FRIENDS. I gave them the name and the email address, you see, and this Skype name. Maybe it is not working. Maybe telephone is hindered. Maybe telephone is hindered. And this was a thumb that was broken. Now something not that serious. Frederick. But this is not important about me. It is important about that what was hidden. And if with it there was the wish to get something, this is robbery. It was not my willing. And if people wanted to put me in a group, they did without my wanting that to be happen. This is myself, and this is my father. I expected with my mother back out of the war. He must have been very old already, and they planned a child. And because it was possible that after the war he was not fruitful enough. And in war there was poison, and it was expected it is a whole mess, and it is unhealthy. They had this as a contract, and it was strange. Could this false group membership that never was real be then the so-called excuse for others not to help me? Maybe there was no help in this night shift. I couldn't get out of it. Was there no help because people said falsely about me? This is to hinder the fallen among the robbers. If the story of the Samaritans, of the one Samaritan would have gone further, maybe there would stand some and claiming this man is sleeping and resting, and maybe he wants to look how it is down there. I really heard the false lies, and this is not my speculation. But for you, the hard fact is, I had been there. The other things, you can believe me. People said you want to work as a male nurse. No, I didn't. It was out of urgent necessity. It was out of the danger to be starved. In German, I would say, ich musste das machen. Sonst hätte ich kein Einkommen gehabt. Das war bitterste Not. Da musste ich diese billige Hilfstätigkeit verrichten. This was German. It is in English. I had to do it. It was urgent need. It was not voluntarily working at night. But I couldn't say anything about it. Others were laughing and saying, "You like the job." No, I didn't. This was for 15 years, and then before that 2 years. And then I expressed myself and wanted help, and then there was a call, or did they look? Those people there, the Runkel, not my friends, and the Müller, not my friends, and the Kämpfer, not my friends, and the Krottinger, not my friends. I have nothing against them. How can I? But please consider, I'm the Otterbach, not my friends. No. A friend cares for you. A friend is asking. Those were not my friends, and after that, not Steinzeit were not my friends. You understand? Maybe those claimed falsely, those are my friends. And even those with your own surname are not my friends. I am that ugly? Maybe, but the reason is I am not guilty. But they worked at the idea, my whole behavior is ugly. And those false doctor's diagnoses could come from the nowadays defense minister of the Federal Republic of Germany. He had been working long time at the city council, and he was that bold. He even went to Iran. He was not allowed to talk on my behalf. He was not allowed to do so. He had been a holiday papa, a holiday. I was not asked. The city sent someone to look inside of the family if I was doing well. And I was not asked. He was not allowed to do anything, but he was a holiday or a weekend father. You might call it that way. I have nothing against him. He did not hurt me. I can't remember. He hit me. But it is not allowed to do something. And people sell it to you as care. This is a kind of care. This is like putting you in a hospital and putting you in some room and then giving you things to sleep and telling to the others he's very sick. He needs urgently the sleep. But the whole idea is to get you out of merchandise, and I feel myself like that. And this is, of course, not proven. This is for me possible. This is for me possible. But consider the idea. Think about it. I was not there voluntarily. What did people tell you? What did people tell you? Was it this, "Oh, we are very glad, we are saved"? This is nothing to you. To a banker to tell such a thing, I'm not crazy. For you it is law and order. No one was ever allowed to speak on my behalf. This is really the case. I know that in some groups, like Muslim groups, the father of the family is allowed to do the affairs for the children. And maybe this is the same in some very strange groups, like religious or culture, in a tribe maybe, and a nobility house. I am not a member of that. Even to the year of 14, my mother, she asked me, this is my mother, the other is my mother as well. That is my mother, this was me. The other, she looked similar. But this woman, maybe in a reenactment, she's not my mother. No, she is not. There had been the idea to marry me to a lady or a young girl, and in that respect there was an engagement at the age of 10 years. But this has legal no follow-up, nothing. She asked me to sign it that we had been, as children, been engaged. This has no follow-up, and I would fight it to the last instant. And I don't do it because you better make it right before. This is your conscience. Not helping me is to give the enemy the upper hand. And this was for all the years. There is not a neighbor woman allowing to talk on my behalf. There had been a friendly neighbor visiting my mother, and she was then falsely taken as my own mother. My mother was, because she is of age, or had been of age, older. And that was to the outside world. Not everyone was allowed to know. I have two mothers, therefore she was called the grandmother. She was the grandam, die große Dame des Hauses, auf wegen des Alters. She really was the lady, but that was my mother as well. Therefore this was strange. And here you see my mother is a girl, this girl, and this is Papa. He was working, but he was not understanding much about the things. And here you see me with two mothers. Thank you very much. And this is longer than expected, 60 minutes. Hopefully you look into it. This is about the night shift and of course it is an accusation. The counselor of the union, of the workers' union, said it as well. But he said there is not 100% sure if I was allowed to go to day shift. It is only when the facility is allowing this without negative effect. And this, of course, was something you could do so, you should do so, but there is no urgent need, and this is no over. But it is for me to understand. There had been strange things. I didn't understood it. I thought I was a foreigner because coming from another part. And this is sometimes in Bavaria, someone who's coming from Prussia, even if he is not a Prussian, he is considered a foreigner. And this may have been similar. I don't know. This is not the topic. The topic is for you to understand. Sometimes false information come to your ears, and do not believe what people say. Ask me myself, and this is valid for all the time. And I had never been engaged. Legally, I had never been engaged. Not to Sweden, not to others, but there had been an actress from Sweden, and she wanted to marry me, and I said, in a movie we can do so. Therefore I was engaged with an actress for a movie marriage. And this is no joke. I myself did not know how life was all about, and I was maybe at that age. This is 15, and there I had a beard, a short one. And this is a print, only to show you symbolically, with two mothers. And this was strange. My mother, the elder, she was clearly much older than my mother, the younger. She was called Oltma, Oma, and the other Mama. And I don't like to talk too much about me, but this time it is important. I understand there could have been false things about me, and this is an accusation that was sometimes coming back as an echo, but I couldn't do anything about it. And I don't go into the idea to morally argue. I don't do moral arguing. People like it, I don't. I'm a believer, but nothing more. I have no membership. Thank you very much.